heard, like, I'm Croatian, but I grew up my whole life, like, I grew up in Germany and lived almost all my life in Germany. So this is going to be from a German perspective. How does a German live in Bulgaria? And you see, I'm prepared, like any German. Yeah, I want to tell you something about like how I did find my apartment here and how is it like living in a communist block like you here see, like picture from Lados, how it is like for a foreigner like me to live in such an apartment building. Let me tell you something about myself. Like, already when I was younger, I wanted to live abroad. Like when I was 16, it was kind of like in trend, like to go for a year to America, doing a high school year there. And I wanted to do that, but my parents were like, no, you can't. But they were like, when you're 18, when you're an adult, you can live wherever you want, you can do whatever you want, but you're still under 18, so you stay here in Germany. And actually that's what I did. Like during my studies, I did a semester abroad in Moscow. I did internships in Brussels and Sarajevo. But this was only for a few months, so I still was like, it's not the same. I want to really live abroad. And then I came to Bulgaria. Yeah, why not? And because I knew like I would be here for a longer period, so I knew I wanted to live in a nice place. So I was really looking for a nice apartment. Like when I did my internships or my semester abroad, I was like, I don't really care how the apartment looks like. I will be there just for a few months, so what ifs. Like I will go back anyway. So, but here it was like I really wanted something nice. So I came to Bulgaria. First lived in an Airbnb and was like, okay, I want to find an apartment. And at first I tried online, didn't work out. Because people weren't really replying, like when I wrote in English, like, oh, I'm interested in your apartment, can I have a look? Nobody replied. So usually the only ones who replied were real estate agents. And so I met with a few and they showed me some apartments, but they were kind of really pushy, really wanted to sell these apartments. And I was, even like 2 different real estate agents showed me the same apartment. Like I was to apartment twice. So I didn't want to have that apartment. They were like, oh, would you want to buy that, rent that? I was like, no. And once even people like tried to trick the real estate agents, like when I visited the apartment, like a landlord was like taking me aside and were like, if you like the apartment, we can make a deal between us. We don't need the real estate agent. So my first tip, like when you come to Bulgaria, try to find a reliable real estate agent and a reliable landlord. Yeah. And finally, I found an apartment, and the house looks like this. But it's in Ivan Vazov, not in Mladost, like here. You can make me put the next picture. It isn't this either, but I tried to make a picture of my house, but there were like trees in the way, so it have a nice picture. But like if you see these kinds of houses in Germany, you would think like people who live there are like living from social benefits or like poor people. But here in Bulgaria, it's like people like me. Yeah. And if you go inside, you see like it looks a bit crappy. And when I had visits from home, I was like seeing like the eyes of my friends. They were like, oh my god, where am I? I was like, calm down. But I know why they were kind of warned, because they're used to have, next picture, like they didn't see elevators like that. It don't look like that. Next. Still my elevator. It's like I have 2 elevators. First one was this, the second one. But in Germany they're more used to having, next picture, having like when you go to the door, like you see bells like that with the name on it. Here in Bulgaria, you don't really have the name on your doorbell. It looks more like this. So you first don't really know. where I live. And also we are used to have letterboxes in Germany like this, really nice. Here in Bulgaria it's more like this. So you're only a number. Like you don't have your name. Some have their names on it, but mostly it's like if you want to receive a letter, make sure that the apartment number is on the letter. Otherwise you won't get any letters. So I know why they were like warned and like a bit afraid, but I was like, calm down. My apartment is really nice, and usually it is like that. The outside looks ugly, but the inside, like the apartments are really nice. And I fell in love with my apartment because it has a nice view, because I'm on the 13th floor and I have a nice view on Vitusha mountain, so I really love it. And that's thing also, I think, which is really nice in Sofia, that you have the mountain like directly there. Yes. So you see my preparation didn't work, so I'm not sure where I am.
In Bulgaria.
In Bulgaria.
Ah yeah. Okay. I talked about having nice landlords. I have really nice landlords, but they don't speak English. So my communication at first was a bit tricky. I had, like when I looked for an apartment, I had like the translation of the real estate agent, and also my colleague came with me, who translated. And like the first thing, which was confusing for me, was like I need to pay my rent in cash. And I was like, can't I like do a bank transfer? I can transfer it every month, like through accounts. Like you don't need to come to my apartment to collect the money. They were like, no, we can come. Don't worry. I was like, okay. It's like hard for you to come, but okay. Come every month. And also, you would imagine like paying the rent in the local currency, in leva. No, I pay my rent in euros. But it was actually also my decision to pay it in euros. They were like in my contract it says like the amount in euro, but they were like, oh, I can pay in euro level, we don't care. But because I'm German, like my mindset is German, I'm like, if I pay in euro, I save a little bit of money because like the change rate is not the half, or double, it's like 1.9. So actually if I pay in euro, I save a little bit of money. So as a tip for you, if you have the same situation, pay it in euro. Yes. And also the same goes for my bills. They pay the bills for me, and then I give them the money. And I was already like living for about 2 months in the apartment, and then it was time again of the month to pay my bills and my rent. And they were like starting like to really complain about my heating bills. They were like, your heating bills are so high, and I was like, oh my god, did I do something wrong? Do I heat too much? Like, why do I even care? It's my money, not theirs. So until I really got like that they're actually ranting about toplificacija. So, you know, everybody, like, I'm not sure like if you know it, but I don't think anybody in Sofia likes toplificacija. They all hate it. And they were like really complaining like how bad they are, like how can they like trick anybody, and they were really mad about that. And then they offered me like to talk to them and try to get my heating bills reduced, which is really nice. And then we found out that I'm actually paying for 5 heaters in my apartment, although I only have 3. So I was like, okay, where are these other 2? Are they like from my neighbors? Are they imaginary? Like, where are these 2 coming from? But we solved it, and now I'm only paying for 3 heaters. And as you know, if you live in an apartment like in the communist block, there's usually that you pay like a monthly bill fee for maintenance and cleaning. And I didn't know that. So I was already a few months living in my apartment, and it was like and one evening my doorbell was going, and I opened the door, and old grandma. And she was introducing herself, as I understood it, because my Bulgarian wasn't really good, as a janitor. And I was like a little grandma like this. She was like, I'm the janitor, like in my head. I was like, you're the janitor? Okay, how how you want to fix anything. Until I got like that she's like collecting the monthly fee. And then I was like, of course I will pay you the fee. It's fine. But it was kind of cute that she came. Yeah. As I already told you, I'm living on the 13th floor. And I also have like once friends visiting me. So I told them like, okay, you have to come up to the 13th floor. But they only went till the 12th floor. And so they had like to go the last staircase by foot. Yeah. And between the floors are doors like this in my apartment. And I didn't know, like I always thought like this door is open, but actually it's closed. So they were like, couldn't go first, and they had to go down again, and then the last up with the elevator again. And then I was like, okay, I don't have the keys. So I asked my landlord, like, can I have the keys to this door? And he was like, I don't have the keys. Okay, I was like, okay, why not? And then he asked my neighbor. He didn't have the keys either. So I was like, okay, if we don't have any power, like the elevator doesn't go, I can't leave my apartment. I'm like stuck. And actually what yesterday happened, we didn't have any power, so I was like kind of stuck in my apartment. But I survived because now I have the keys. Because we found eventually a neighbor who always closes the door and had the keys, so everything's fine now. And when my neighbor actually gave me the keys, we also had like a little bit of a chat. And he was like suddenly telling me, do you see that crack on the wall? I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, it's from the last earthquake. And I'm like, okay. Are there often earthquakes in Sofia? He was like, quite often. So I was like, good to know that I'm now living on the 13th floor. Thanks God I have now the keys to leave. And if I hadn't that, I would like die in my apartment. But since I'm living here and it's been like now for 2 years, there were no earthquakes and I'm still alive. So if you want more stories, just ask.